Yo, what is up everybody? Jumpin' here, and I am back on some Space Marines 2, and I want to talk about the new balance patch that just came out, and I also want to talk about this Bulwark. Now, this gameplay I'm going to show here is going to be older gameplay. I wanted to also show the build, just so you guys know what I was rocking. They have changed the Bulwark, where you now need to actually be level 23. Kind of a bummer if you want to get that contested health perk. Everybody kind of seen that coming because we all knew it was a glitch, and I didn't actually know, but it was just kind of built into the Bulwark originally. You throw it on the banner, you get the contested health. I thought it actually came from the level 9 perk, but no, that was not the case. It was just broken from the beginning. But if you want to get that contested health and have that amazing recovery, you're going to need level 23 now. The gameplay is going to be on Ballistic Engine. I was running solos on multiple classes before this patch came out, and I gotta say, it really was rough. On the tactical, to me, it was very easy. If you're using the grenade launcher build, that's the best build. The tactical's the best class, and it is not that bad to solo lethal on the tactical. Every other class, it was a struggle. The Bulwark was definitely the second best though, by far. Just because of the recovery, but also this class does amazing damage. You will kill extremes and majors so fast with the Bulwark because of the parries. I just love this class. It is definitely the best melee by far. I've been saying that forever. And I think now it's the second best class. The tactical is still king, but the Bulwark is definitely the second just because it's so useful to have that banner. To be able to give your entire team maximum contested health, and all you ever have to do is just call it out. Say that you're going to throw down the banner, tell your teammates to get close to you, throw it down, and everybody start doing damage. Get some executions, and the entire team can be full health. That is just too amazing, and nowadays, with the new difficulty and lethal, you definitely want a Bulwark in my opinion. Now, let's go in and talk about this new patch. They have nerfed all the difficulties. I didn't realize that they changed minimum, average, substantial the way they did. That's actually kind of crazy to me because I haven't played those difficulties. Everything that I want leveled up, I already have leveled up. So if I'm going to play ruthless or lethal. That's just upsetting almost that they did what they did because yeah, I can imagine that was a big surprise to people where there was all these enemies, all these extremes. And now, all those difficulties should feel the way they used to. Which is good. That's very good. Once you have a purple weapon, most of the time, you should be able to do ruthless. The problem is that some of the weapons really suck. Which is another thing that they did with this patch is they buffed all the bolt rifles. Every single one of them. And the heavy bolt caster got a 5% buff. That's the lowest one. And the highest one was 20% for the auto bolt rifle, which was the worst weapon in the entire game. There's other really bad bolt rifles out there, like some of those SMGs. I'm very curious to try all these weapons now. It is surprising they gave a 15% buff to the Inquisitor bolt rifle. I'm very curious on that one. I really like that gun on the Vanguard, so that should feel a lot better now. I noticed that when I looked at the game though, none of the firepower values got changed, so that's a little confusing. They are continuing to nerf the stupid flying guys. Everybody hates them, and it depends on your class really. Sometimes the class can just totally destroy them, but if you don't have that class on your team, it could be a real nightmare dealing with the stupid flying guys. Next, I guess I'll talk about lethal a little bit. The biggest change that they made is they got rid of the stupid armor thing. Oh, that's so good, it's gone. In this gameplay, there's just so many times where I don't get armor because my dumb bot teammates can't keep up. But even with human teammates, it still is a problem. I pointed out several things, but one of the big things is just it doesn't make sense for this game. With the classes, you have a sniper and a heavy that may want to stay further back. You have a vanguard and an assault that can use their power to get out of range. It just didn't make sense. It's good, it's gone. Please don't bring it back. I heard about they may introduce modifiers that you can choose, and maybe that will be in there. I don't want none of that stuff. I don't like modifiers. I think that if they want to increase the difficulty, come out with a new difficulty. That's what they did. That's great. Don't make all the other difficulties way harder though. Just come out with your new difficulty, and in that new difficulty, if you want to make the enemies harder, that's fine. And if you want to increase the amount of enemies, that's fine. But any gimmick, any modifier that's just going to make it harder for no real reason besides, oh, well, that's frustrating now, it doesn't belong. This is a horde shooter. I want to shoot a lot of hordes. Now, I do think that the type formation was the most frustrating thing that came out with Lethal. I knew everybody was going to hate that, and they did. But there are a couple other things that are in this difficulty that can be very frustrating. One is the limited ammo. You go to an ammo case, and you can run out of ammo in the ammo case. The reason that's a problem is because some classes have ammo issues. And if there is a boss ever, you are so screwed with ammo most of the time. If the team shares that ammo, it will be gone so quickly depending on the classes that are there. And it's another reason, it goes into class balance, that the tactical is so powerful. The Emperor's Vengeance perk will give the tactical ammo. It doesn't really matter what gun you're using, you will have way more ammo than everybody else because of that perk. I'll give you a prime example. Try using the Stalker bolt rifle. It did get buffed by 15%. I do want to try that one too. Try using that on the sniper and try shooting like everything you can. And then go on the tactical and do the same thing. And you will see you have way more ammo on the tactical just because that perk will trigger. It will give you a full magazine back. And I think you can get up to like 21 shots back on the tactical when it procs. That is so good. Now, I'm not saying let's nerf the tactical's amazing perk that he has. It makes him super powerful, and it also makes him unique that he has that. I like it. He's a gun guy. That's what he's all about. But when you do a general nerf that nerfs everybody else, and you feel it, it's not good. So to be honest, that's one of those new things that came out with Lethal. That would be amazing if they just got rid of it. I'm sorry. We don't really need that. I don't really know what kind of game I'm playing sometimes when I'm playing this. I want this to be a horde shooter, but it feels like a survival game because I'm so limited on my resources on these difficulties. I got very lucky in this gameplay because I got super good grenades when I needed them. If I didn't have those grenades, I would have struggled a lot more. Prime example is if you're a Bulwark, if you get crack grenades, hold on to them. You want to save them for the stupid flying guys. Because if you have crack grenades, you know I could take them out and I don't have to struggle. The Bulwark will struggle against stupid flying guys. Just like other classes. The Assault, the Vanguard as well. Limited resources always is a bummer. But it's really bad when you cannot get your ammo back. Ammo is the worst limited resource of all. When you are forced to fight a boss, which on lethal difficulty, to me it seems like a boss spawns every single time. And you really feel the difference if you don't have a tactical to delete the boss. Or at least debuff the boss so that the entire team can delete the boss. Ammo is a big issue, but the second biggest issue is the ranged enemies becoming buffed. This is a major problem in my opinion. One reason is because some of the classes suffer way more than others. All the melee classes. They already kind of struggle in a lot of ways because they're melee classes. When you make a buff that the enemies cannot be stunned in any way, and you can only remove this buff by them meleeing you and you countering them either with a parry or with a dodge and then getting a gun strike. That's how you remove the buff. The ranged enemies don't really like to melee all that often, and you gotta try to bait it out of them. It's a real struggle. But the melee enemies, the buff is kind of okay, just because they're gonna try to melee you, and you can counter them and remove the buff. And they do also hit you a lot harder. Not only are they unstunnable, but they will also completely destroy you when they shoot you. There are rapid fire ranged enemies, and they will shred you. The sniper enemies, you can dodge them, but they will just rapid fire snipe you. And if they catch you, they are going to do so much damage to you. It's extremely frustrating. Now there is another major issue with this, at least for me when I've soloed. I've noticed it. You can see it in this gameplay. Spoiler alert, I do die. But when I die, I am fighting so many majors, it's actually kind of crazy. And a lot of them are ranged majors. And they will all start buffing themselves, and eventually I got caught and I got obliterated and I died. I did have a guardian relic, I got up, I healed myself, and I took them all out. One thing that I noticed though is that the indicator to let me know that they're buffed, which is the red head, was gone. They didn't have a red head, they looked like a normal enemy. And I'm fighting them and I'm noticing that they are buffed, they are not getting stunned in any way, and they are destroying me. This is a major problem. They need to fix that. I don't know what's going on there. Why does the indicator disappear? It's beyond me. It might be the bots, because the bots are so stupid they don't know how to gun strike. They do know how to parry though. And I believe maybe when they get parries on majors, it can remove the indicator. But it doesn't remove the buff because they didn't get gun striked. So they definitely need to fix this issue in my opinion. And just overall, I'm going to be honest, I don't like the fact that the ranged enemies can actually get this buff. It would be a lot better if only the melee enemies could get the buff. That's fine, because you can at least counter it way more effectively, and it doesn't bother certain classes more. This game is unbalanced. It just is what it is when it comes to some of the classes, and they suffer way more than other classes because they have to deal with certain shenanigans that shouldn't even be in the game in the first place. Now, I do want to go ahead and give some tips about the Bulwark. I gotta say, I love this class, but I know that a lot of people do not like this class. I actually ranked him pretty high for the ruthless operations, and there were several people who said that they thought the Bulwark was the worst. And the reason is, I think, because a lot of people will try to play the Bulwark, and you try to block, and then you try to go for parries, and it's very awkward and weird. The way I like to play this class is to melee and to parry, and I dodge. That's it. I do not block. I really think that helps a lot, because when you are trying to block and then you try to go for a parry, it's very awkward and the timing is off. But if you don't really ever block and you just dodge a lot, you can avoid a lot more dangerous situations, and you will then just hit your parry button like you would on anybody else. In fact, what I would highly recommend, if you want to know, like, hey, how can I get better at doing parries? I want to become a better melee player, and to do that, I have to get better at doing parries. Level up the Vanguard. The Vanguard can give you a 50% increased parry window at like level 2. So you can practice your parries a lot easier on the Vanguard. And then, when you're done with the Vanguard, you will feel a lot better going for parries on either the Bulwark or the Assault. It helps a ton. The Vanguard, I actually call him the training wheels when it comes to the melee classes overall, because the Vanguard does get a gun, and the gun can be pretty good generally. It could be the Melter Rifle or the Inquisitor Rifle, which just got buffed. That's pretty nice. The Vanguard does have one big thing going for it though. I think the Vanguard might be one of the best teammates for the best team. Because right now, I think the best team would be a Grenade Launcher Tactical, a Bulwark with this banner, and a Vanguard. Because the Vanguard team perk could give the cooldown for the Tactical and the Bulwark. A Plasma Pistol Bulwark doesn't really work well with a Sniper. Sniper is a lot better now, in my opinion. I rate the Sniper for the Ruthless operations at 5. I think the Sniper's moved up a lot. The Infinite Camo is so good for lethal. Plus, if you are just trying to farm the easy missions, this mission, Ballistic Engine, is definitely the easiest. The reason why is because you can skip all of the beginning. I chose to fight everything in this gameplay, but you can skip a lot. Just run right past everything. And then there's only like 2 parts where it forces you to actually do the objective. And as long as you hit your buttons right away and get the objective going, generally, you're going to have a really quick and easy run if you're just trying to go for XP or whatever it might be. So the Sniper is pretty good, just because the Sniper can run past everything with the cloak. The class can do a lot of damage, but I still think the class has issues. Ammo is a big one, and on this difficulty, ammo just is a major bummer because of the limited ammo that you get.
The tactical grenade launcher build can work with a sniper because you can go for headshots with your bolt rifle, that's fine. I do it all the time. But I would prefer to have the Vanguard if I'm a tactical. If I'm playing that class, I'm going for a lot of melee finishers. I'm putting the majors into the execution state so quickly. And I'm just going to go for the finishers. That way I can keep up my ammo. And I like going for melee finishers on the tactical because you're stretching out the time in between kills. It lets you micromanage your grenade ammo way better. I prefer to get those melee finishers, and a Vanguard is just so good with the Bulwark and the tactical. The class that suffered the most, I think, is actually the Heavy. The Heavy gets so deleted by those buffed ranged enemies. They can break his shield right away, and they just shred his armor. You can recover your contested health, but you're just constantly recovering. It is interesting on how this difficulty has changed, I think, the ranking in a lot of these classes. Bulwark, I said, was number 3. Bulwark's definitely number 2. And the tactical, which I said was number 2 back then, is definitely number 1 now. There's no doubt in my mind. Sniper, Vanguard, I don't really know. Assault's probably still last, just because Assault's Assault. It's kind of like a struggle. You have to play that class really perfect, in my opinion. And if you don't, you could suffer. Now, I'm just sitting around waiting for this Horde mode. I'm gonna be honest. That's what I'm most excited about. One thing I'm not a big fan of is sitting down and playing something that is difficult and super stressful and kind of crazy, and I have to sweat, and I get through it, but it took me 40 minutes. I can do like 20 minutes of that, but I want a little bit of a break. That's where the Horde mode, I hope, will come in. Because then I could just sit down, play for 15-20 minutes, and then go do something else if I want. I don't want to sit down for 40 minutes to an hour on some of these missions, and especially when it is super difficult and kind of highly stressful at times. Alrighty guys, well I think that's about everything I wanted to talk about. The new patch is nice, but I do think that there still are some issues with lethal difficulty. And some of those issues affect some of the classes more than others, and that just affects the overall balance of the game, at least in my opinion. I really do hope that you have enjoyed this and that it has helped. If it has, will you please like the video for me? Be sure to subscribe for future videos, and I really do hope that everyone has a very nice day, and peace out.
Was dissipating. You failed that oath. Finally through that damn grate. Brothers, to my mark. I thought we would have encountered more Xenos by now.
Obstruction detected. Removal is required to commence.
I will see it done. Obstruction clear. Ravenous brood beneath galaxies of doors. Tyranid dispatched and dismantled. Swap magazine. We have trampled their chittering parasites. It thrums with power and promise.
Derailment on track 6. Request servitors to clear wreckage.
Finish and ready. That silence continues by the
Relentless transfer. 36393 complete. Manifest updated.
It's the great honor our chapter's colors, brothers! Failed that ultimate. Faith. Galaxy is not yours to devour. Load up. That's ready to deploy. Hell the Tyranid into station. Xenos fire. Reloading. Ordnance in place, Lieutenant. Give us the word.
Good. Deploy it.
You failed at ultimate. Faith. silence the Tyranid. Rather than where shall I plant this land? Ammunition here. Resources acquired. Arming up. Launching payload.
Error. Engine power depleted. Initiating charging cycle. Departmental unitary penalties will be assessed.
Of course, when the Satan power is depleted.
Talassa, I have multiple swarms moving to your location. You have their attention. Deal with them swiftly. We will not get another shot at this.
We need the Tyranids of post vectors if we deploy an engine on those tracks.
There are engines inside that may be along the power dispatcher and the jazz control Charging system detected. Engines here requesting to perform rites of restoration.
Link your armor to the Mechanicus device. You will need to keep close proximity to the charge charging station until the reset is complete.
Skitter to the grave, Xenos feet. Finish and ready. Payload launched.
Detonation in 5. Brace for shockwave.